Hey, another build guide. So, the Affliction League has been a blast to play, and it's heading towards the end slowly. So I decided to make this build guide in order to, well, help you out maybe starting next league, or if you want to reroll this league and try something new in Celestial Font environment. It is a good time to do it, after playing all time in trade, or, maybe you want to have a fresh start and just migrate all and do it again. Who knows? Either way, we don't know what the buffs or nerfs are going to be for the next league, so I can't tell you that this is going to be the same for the next one, but I would doubt they nerf this unless they kill all the corpses skills. So yeah, this is another version of our favorite corpse skill, which is Detonate Dead. This one is not Ignite based, but instead a hit based version of it. So it's DD of Chain Reaction. It's basically Vol DD, but on a single gem without any cooldowns, and it's pretty crazy. Maybe some of you have seen Ben has killed all Ubers with it on a pretty budget gear, very fast in Solo Surf on Hardcore. So for any gameplay videos and showcases, I will just link this in the description so we can see how he did it. I mean, it's basically the same build. He just, well, I mean, he's a god gamer, right? But let's head into the important parts. So first of all, I will cover most of the parts that are related to how to level, play the builds. It is very easy to assemble. It's 100% league startable. You will need to farm the DD gem. I mean, you need to do it in lab. So lab haters, sorry for you. But to be honest, the lab is a very good place to gear. Like before maps. Before you used to do it in in foothills, for example, but now GGG has nerfed it to the oblivion with a little small pack of monsters waiting on the checkpoint, just trying to kill you. So yeah, I mean, time isn't wasted. You will need to farm a couple of Merc labs probably, but it's not that difficult. You can get it in like 1 or 2 hours, or if you're unlucky, well, shit happens. Either way, this build is made from SSF HC perspective, where I usually play, but for all of you trade lovers, well, there's not much gear you would trade for, and it's a super cheap and easy obtainable gear in SSF, so I don't think this is a big problem. But I've included some items into the build. I mean, some uniques that you can get early in trade for very, very cheap, and that will, well, last you until basically end game. And there's also a twink leveling section where you can, well, get the overpowered items and blast through the campaign. You can see it on the screen right now, but I'll get into it later. And what else? For the softcore players, well, I'll tell you one thing. Not dying is a great way to make money. And in SC and in HC. You might ask, why? Well, because you have higher efficiency, you don't waste your time going out of the map, into the map, using all your portals. I know you say, I paid for 7 portals, I'm gonna use all of them, but nah, come on. It's better not to die. And this build has plenty enough damage, so that you do not need to compromise on defenses. On the other hand, for the HC players, this is not a build you're immortal on. Especially once you get to the maps after initial leveling. This is the build where you will die most of the time in the beginning. This is not... The damage is super high, but in this case, what kills you is probably overconfidence. Because you can push this build into red maps like this. You don't need to invest almost anything in damage. You scale the corpse life. So it doesn't really matter what your damage is. You'll obliterate everything anyway. But yeah, you will have to play carefully, especially during the first day. So that being said, I'll just maybe show a little bit of a gameplay, because this is just in the hideout. Basically, the whole gameplay loop is desecrate, detonate. good job. Now you know how to play builds. You can also 2 charge, flame dash, use your divine blessing, use your blood rage. But yeah, I mean, whole thing pans down to this. On bosses, you will use Arcanist brand, but I'll talk about it later. So yeah, that's basically how you do it in the beginning. Gameplay wise, as I said, I will just link a video. There is no point for me to show you boss gameplay or boss damage. Doesn't matter. It's you got the best example on Ben channel. So now let us get to POB. Hello again, with my great intermissions. Let's see. First of all, let's start with the most important part that everybody always asks for. So, leveling. We've got a leveling tree. I will be honest, I have stolen it a little bit from Zizaran's guide for Ignite DD, because you know, witch leveling is almost the same always, right? What you want to do is you get Armageddon brand, cremation, you blast. Before that, rolling magma, you go. And it's all good. You don't need to, you know, invent a wheel. Just use what is true and tested. In this case, I have modified it a little bit, since afterwards you are not going into Ignite, you're going to hit-based type of gameplay. So some of the nodes on the Zizaran tree were at least questionable for this build. But I mean, it stays mostly the same. You begin in the witch area, you go up, take the practical application, which is very important for your strength and dexterity requirements on gear. You get life and mana nodes, you go for fire, you get this, and then you head and take elemental overloads. When we get to normal lab, this is where we start diverging from the traditional, you know, elementalist DD. We don't go up here, we go down here, we take those nodes. And now, if you're twink leveling, right, if you have insane resistances, which this will not be the case in case of, you know, a fresh start on SSF or something, you can now take the regenerate 1 life per 1% uncapped, because your fire resistance is probably going to be way beyond what normally is possible, and you will have insane life regen, which will be, you know, I mean, it's a quality of life of itself. But yeah, normally you don't take it, right now at least, and we take the life nodes, and we ascend. Oh yeah, and we ascend. So the first node we are taking is Plague Bringer, which will make you deal more damage, get less damage. This is great. Also, area of effect is insane. This starts being used at around the same time you will switch to, you know, the cremation and Armageddon brands. So once you get cremation, this goes into full effect. While you're going through campaign, you don't really consume any corpses, right? But there are nearby corpses. I mean, on bosses, you obviously are going to use cremation, or on like some rare packs if you really want to overlevel or something. But besides that, it's whatever. So yeah, this is the first part. Then we go to the bottom. We take Divine Judgment if you feel like you need more damage. Probably in SSF you might. Take the nodes, the life nodes, you know, go for the elemental damage again, get another node. And now we will get the Cruel Blood done. And here is the question, what do we take? I opted for the Commander of Darkness. This is 30% increased elemental damage, which is pretty good. You get attack and cast speed, very good. And I think very much quality of life is the 30% to all elemental resistances. This will be around the point where you will be, you know, finishing the, you know, Act 5, killing Kitava, going to the Act 6. You will lose those resistances, and this lets you regain them. So, you know, it's easier on gearing. Then We have Merklab, you know, here is level 69, yeah, and this is the point where basically you, well, you leveled a little bit in Blood Aqueduct if you need it. I would suggest leveling to like 70 and respecing like this. From important stuff. First of all, delete those nodes, get those free. This part we are dropping, we are going through the area of effect and area damage. This build is very starved for both of these. In general, how do you scale DD of chain reaction? Generic damage, fire damage, generic damage. You know those crafts on rings that nobody almost takes ever, like increased damage crafts. Those begin to be very good on this build, which is rare sightning, but it's nice to see that they can be used. I mean, it's a very luxury craft, so it's a digression. But at this point, before anything, I should mention, this is the mastery that is very important. You should have taken it way before. You will see it on the tree. I have marked it. Hopefully you don't forget to take it. It's insane for this build. And yes, another important thing is Eldritch Battery. You want to take this to sustain your mana. This is very mana hungry build. At this point, you will have a little bit of energy shield, hopefully. If you don't, I mean, not even if you don't, this is mandatory to take whenever you get melding. This is very important because this will give you a ton of energy shield and will let you cast your DD and Desecrate and everything, because it can be very mana hungry in the beginning. And yes, once you're entering maps, you are taking the suppression nodes. This is very important in the beginning. You can see we don't have that much suppression, 39. This is not insane, but using the chance to suppress spell damage is lucky. You get it to around, like, it feels like 60%. 60% is pretty decent. I mean, it's not great, you want to get it to 100, but it will have to do for the early game, okay? It's not easy to get suppression in early game, which kinda is scuffed, and that's why people hate SSF gear progression in the beginning, but, you know, it is what it is. Suppression is mandatory, unfortunately. And for the Merklab, we are taking Plaguebringer. Sorry, Mistress of Sacrifice. And for Uberlab, we will take Corpse Pact. But for now, we are taking Mistress of Sacrifice. And as I said, I've mentioned in the introduction, this is the moment you will die if you are not careful. We are way less tanky. I mean, maybe not way less, but we are less tanky than Elementalist. Elementalist has the Bastion of Elements. It's insanely good in the beginning. It's 2000 effective HP against, I don't know, any elemental damage. So those Skelly mages will not be that, you know, powerful against you in the beginning. Necromancer, unfortunately, does not have that. We don't have this as an option. That's why, in the beginning, we will use Bone Offering instead of Flesh Offering. Flesh Offering is great. It's a great offensive tool. Quality of life. It's, in general, you know, one of the best things. But you need survivability in the beginning. And, you know, Bone Offering will give you spell block, attack block, life gain on block. This is great, okay? So, trust me, take this. You won't have that much block. You know, you see, 36, 20, but it's always something. You will want to get it up. It all depends on your gear, how you play the game, and if you're less experienced, you know that you're walking into abilities that you shouldn't walk into. Take some block nodes, okay? Take this. Take some, maybe path down here instead of here, and take some block nodes here. You know, there is Sanctuary right next to you. You know, in some cases, I would say probably Glancing Blows is better if you're feeling you're gonna die and you get some good recovery, because this will mean you will rarely get hit once hard. You will get a lot of small hits. So if you get a good recovery, and Bone Offering kind of gives you pretty okay recovery, just get Glancing Blows. it all depends. You know, this is just a baseline build, baseline guide. You can diverge to your needs. You know, you feel you are dying, take this, and take the Sanctuary, take the Mystic Bulwark, and you should be okay. Okay, that being said, what else is important? You can drop Divine Judgment, you know. You will see you have enough damage. Like, I can guarantee you, you will have enough damage. So yeah, those are the leveling trees. Now, important notes that you have to keep in mind while playing this build. There are a couple of things that are, if you fuck it up, it will be nightmare, okay? So, first of all, whenever you get to Act 2, buy Desecrate, okay? Immediately buy Desecrate. In the beginning, in the Act 1, you want to have also DD bought as soon as possible. It's not a super priority, but Desecrate is. Put them in your offhand and level them. When you will start using Cremation, you will need them anyway, so it's good to have them leveled. Desecrate spawns corpses based on its level. So if you have unleveled Desecrate and you're in a zone, I don't know, 78, and you have Desecrate level 1, it will spawn some baby corpses with no life and you will deal no damage. So you need to level Desecrate, okay? Then, another thing. Here in the notes section, I have, you know, also kind of yoinked it, but I've also changed a lot of stuff, added the preliminary words, basically the introduction, but TLDR. You need to raise Spectre. Because, I mean, this has been explained in every single DD video on the planet, but I'll do it once again, I guess. There's a corpse pool in the map, right? And your Spectres will make 15% of it. And now, you want to have very high life Spectres. Those are Kitava Heralds, Auric Champions, Auric Colossus. There was some other minion in, I think, Bastard Desert, the ones that are like in a cage and roll around. Yeah, those are very good corpses to have. And you want at least one of them. And why am I saying at least? Because it turns out that having more is actually better. This hasn't been really known before. I mean, maybe it was, but at least I didn't know it. Ben has made a video about it. I mean, a little short Twitch clip. I will link it in the description, where he explains why it is. TLDR, turns out you are adding the Spectre corpses into the pool, and while, yes, only 15% as a static number can spawn of those of yours, the corpses of the others, I mean, also are added to the general pool, so the 85%. So there's also higher chance of spawning them just because they are there. Not just because they are not guaranteed, but they are there so they can spawn. So yeah, ideally you want to have 5 Spectres. This is not possible until late game. You have to level, raise Spectre to preferably 20, raise the skill gem to 25 somehow. Just for a moment, you just need to do it once, and once you do it, you can throw it away. Get this Death Attunement. This will let you spawn 1 more Spectre. And if you don't want to raise it to 25, you can equip this twice. This wand lets you spawn 1 more Spectre. You equip 2 of them, you get 5. So you just get them, equip those 2 wands, I mean with those 2 wands, everything, throw everything away, you got them now in the Desecrate pool, you're good to go, okay? So, that being said, those are the Spectres. What now? I can actually show you in the game, because as you can see, on the ground now, if you don't know if you got them in your, let's say, Desecrate pool, just Desecrate it in hideout. if you see in Hideout those big golden dudes, those are Auric Colossus or Champions, I don't remember which one is one. You know, you got them right? This is an advanced tip, so it's not that important, but it's just good to know. Now, let's us head into the mid-game tree. So after we get level around 94, 95, even 90 if you drop some nodes. Important stuff. You want to get spiritual aid. Why? Because crafting your scepter, let me see, crafting your scepter relies on spamming essences, actually. Who would have thought that, right? Easiest to spam is minions deal increased damage. This is a generic damage increase that will be given to you by spiritual aid. As I said, we want to increase our damage generically, so to say, right? And this will let us do it. So you want to get the essences, I don't know, of wall, maybe? I'll check. Those are called, of fear. So we want to get screaming, essences of fear, right? Then shrieking, deafening, the bigger the better. But you're not really starved for damage, so it's, as I said, something you can do later on. In the beginning, you will do other stuff. We'll get to items in a second. You want to get some cast speed. You will have a big problems with dexterity, I'm already telling you. So it is very likely you will need to get this and this node. But maybe you're gonna get lucky on gear. I did, so it all depends. You want to get reservation efficiency nodes. Definitely want to get more life. Here, go down, get the coordination. And now, after you ascend to the Uber Lab, this is very important. You get Corpse Pact. Corpse Pact gives you attack and cast speed, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is enemies near your corpses you spawned recently are chilled and shocked. So you get chill and shock for free, basically on this build. This is very good, okay? So what you want to do is you want to keep those things. Effect of non-damaging elements. You want to stack it, because the more you stack it, the more shock you get, the more generic damage you get, the more damage you get, So this is a very good note. Another one that you could get, you don't have to, is on Divine Judgment if you still have it. This one is very good. You want to get the craft on your amulet if you want in the end game. I have not included end game items here because it doesn't make sense. You will have to figure it out yourself, and it makes more sense since everybody's gear is a little bit different. And what again? Coordination, very good. You want to also stack a lot of cast speed. Cast speed is insane for this build. So flash overing after you're getting your suppression capped is pretty good. And yeah, this is very important node. Glacial Cage. You can get it after you get your chill node. You get your Corpse Pact. This, as you can see, increases your damage by 10%. This won't be noticeable mapping because you one-shot everything anyway, but on bosses, very good. So, remember to pick it up, even though it doesn't seem it might be for this build. So yeah, this is the tree. I mean, if you have any questions down below, just comment. And now I guess we shall head to the items section. Items. This previous section has taken so much time that I'll just keep it short and sweet, okay? You got a couple of things here. Level 12, example gear, doesn't matter, it's just blue gear. You'll see what I mean. Now, this is where the fun part happens. So, when you're entering maps, okay? You need to have a good gear. There's no way in hell you're gonna survive on some dogshit leveling gear, okay? Fortunately, to play this build, you need to hit up Merc Lab. You will need to farm Merc Lab after Merc Lab after Merc Lab and try to get your items, okay? By your items, I mean DD, of Chain Reaction. So, while you're doing it, you're dropping tons of rares, okay? You will want to identify everything that is of a good base. I'm not gonna give you here any, I don't know, filter blade, filters that you can, you know, tinker to your way. You need to understand one thing. Bases matter a lot, okay? There's a huge difference between top base and the bottom base from every single category of armors and weapons, whatever, but armors mostly, okay? You want to get high evasion, high armor, armors, okay? Here, for example, is one exception. I've given armor and energy shield, body armor. It can be other, like 2 other slots and maybe armor, evasion shield, you know, armor, body armor. You basically need some energy shield to cast your spells. You need it, because otherwise you will be fucked. You will not be able to use your Eldritch Battery, and that sucks. So, it's very bare bones. You see? Nothing. Just life, because this is important. What you want to get is additional physical reduction on your shield. I put it on my shield, or on your armor. It's very important to get it. You will live without it, but it's hard without it, okay? And then you want to look at your POB, okay? And you want to look at those numbers. Effective hit pool, Phys max hit, elemental max hit. You want to get it to around 10k, okay? The physical max hit to around 10k, and elemental max hit, well, at least 18, okay? Why do I have so many resistances here? Because I added it here. You have to make sure you get your resistances capped, but I mean, this is basics. You wouldn't be here if you don't know the basics. So all that being said, get your bases, get good bases, filter them out on filter blade, okay? Just learn top 2 bases of each single class. You just need to know armor, like dexterity, strength, and maybe, I don't know, strength, energy shield, intelligence, you know? Just learn what the best are, use the good ones, okay? Because this will make a difference in the beginning, at least. So, okay, that is the early maps. Now, the whole strategy of this build. When you start SSF, this is SSF 101, okay? You pick up essence nodes, okay? You start farming essences. You pick up expedition nodes and June nodes, okay? 3 things you will farm. This you will farm until you're level 90, okay? Focus on expedition. Try to get as many logbooks, as many crafting mats as you can. Once you hit level 90, you can get level 86 bases at Rogue. And you hit them up, you know? And then you pray. Because what you have to do is get suppression on your gear. Basically, every single slot, okay? This build is fucking starved for suppression. This league is very easy. This league, getting suppressed is... I mean, it's trivial, because you can get suppression charms, okay? But next league, who knows? So I didn't put in, as you can see, I have not mentioned once, our affliction ascendancies, you know? Do whatever you want with them. I would say go Primalist, get some good charms, Cover and Ash, stuff like that, and you get your damage up, you get everything up, okay? But I'm doing it for generic times, you know? Who knows what we have next league. So, that being said, get suppression. Get your chaos resistance up, you know? Use amethyst drinks, just craft them. Just try amethysts. That's all you can do. Get jades, because this will save you, you know, points on the tree, which is very good. Get heavy belt. This will also save you point on the tree, you know, for strength. So yeah, I mean, for the rest, I would say evasion rating and armor, and just get it up as much as you can. Get the spell suppression to 100, and you're good to go. Then, after suppression, we focus on another super important thing, okay? Eldritch implicits. So, before 90, whatever you drop, whichever Eldritch currency you get, okay? You want to invest it in only 2 slots. You want to invest it primarily into gloves, and primarily you want to get the Searing Exarch one, because you want inflict fire exposure on hit. This is absolutely incredible for you, okay? So whenever you get it, great, you will drop Wave of Conviction. It's all written in the skill section. I'm not gonna repeat everything here. And secondly, after you get your gloves, you put it into the body armor. You want effective non-curse auras, and you want Determination or Grace aura effect, okay? This will make you more survivable. Great. Two other things. One, you need to get June Crafts, okay? 2 June Crafts that are extremely necessary for this build. Basically 3, but I mean 2 of them are the same. Fizz taken as fire, okay? On body armor, as you can see here, it's necessary to have it, okay? And on the head, you know? You want to get Coral Craft and Gravicious Craft and just, you know, put them on your armor. And it's very important to convert physical damage, because this is the biggest weakness of this build, let's be real. Okay, well, physical damage. And then, what else? And the most important craft, I mean, maybe not most important, because this is just quality of life. You want to get the trigger socketed spell using a skill, okay? After you get this, you put your flammability, elemental weakness, and offering skill into your weapon, and you can forget about it. You never have to cast Get Cursed yourself. It's gonna be cast by, well, you using different skills. So it's quality of life. Yeah, and then what else? Use POB, okay? Whenever you get to maps, just download your character to POB, see what your EHP is, you know, what your max hit is, see what you're lacking, okay? And try to get it. And yeah, I mean, what else? I can show you the configuration. We use Frenzy Charges from Blood Rage, we leech Energy Shield from our skill, we have corpses around, we consume the corpse, and we are fire exposed. And you see the damage, and it's per 1 explosion. So, you know, I'm just saying, it's pretty good. And you can just multiple explode everything, so you can imagine, this build is pretty good. And for the calculations, you know, I'm not gonna make a whole guide, but just look how much fizz you will take, lightning, cold, fire, and just, you know, arrange your flasks and everything according to that, okay? So, otherwise, everything you need to know is in here. You know, leveling, playstyle, Arcanist brand setup, I mean, you will see it in skills. I've written everything. From important stuff, you would want to use those 4 always. I mean, once you feel like you're like god, or I don't know, you got some insane items, you maybe can switch some of those, but this will let you kill Ubers, okay? If you play like a god. But it's not easy to play like a god. I can't necessarily, and but you know, some people can. Ben did it with similar build, and not much tankier than this, okay? What else? I think this is it. So, some closing words. Play safe. Don't rush into red maps, and just try to play as if you knew you were gonna die next map. So, you know, offense is a good defense, but you are ranged, so use the range, okay? At least in the beginning. After some 1-2 days, you will be a god. You will be able to like steamroll literally every single map. So, you know, just play carefully in the beginning. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can find me here on this YouTube channel. But also, you know, drop a follow on Twitch. Maybe I'm streaming, just ask me a question. I'll answer happily. If I don't know, we'll find out together. So, yeah, thanks for the attention. And I know it's long, but it is supposed to be comprehensive. So, yeah, see you around.